Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Your host, V&M General Manager Kevin Jean and Iowa Ranger Pro Staffer Steve Graff will keep you up to date on what's happening on the best lakes in the Arklatex region, with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend, two guys who have fished at a high level with Pro-Am experience with ABA, BFL's, Toyota Series, and BASS Opens. Anglers with a wealth of knowledge and willing to share. So pull up a chair, kick back, and see why so many anglers watch Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Ranger Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager Kevin Jean right here. And running the board behind the camera, you can't see him. There's a reason why he's not on camera. But he's got a good-looking beard. He's a good-looking young man. He's now a Northwestern State graduate and a working man. He's in the real world. James Stanfield running the board, producing this show. We appreciate you, James. We have two special guests today. And again, if you want to know what's going on in Rayburn, Toledo Bend, there ain't no better place to find out than right here. We're going to tell you, and we've got the best of the best today. We got Michael Neal, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean,
the winner.
Pro Circuit champion from this past weekend. Championship day, weight zeroed, weighed in a little over 26 pounds on championship day. Most of them caught on live scope, so it's going to be interesting to hear Michael break down how he caught them. I know after they weighed in on the second day, he said the fish were kind of, he had figured it out. Towards the end of the day, the fish, how the fish were setting up in the drains, and it's going to be interesting to hear kind of how he broke it down and you know how he figured these things out. Because I mean, 26 pounds on the last day, he figured something out. Yeah,
exactly. And we've got to give a shout out to Randy Despino, who was in that tournament, was right there at the very end. Had a great final day, finished up in third place overall. Randy, congratulations, man. We are so proud of you, bud. Yes. And you did a great job. Randy went shallow.
He did.
He stayed shallow pretty much the whole time, throwing a trap and a chatterbait.
He knew it was going to be a player, and he told me, he said, I committed to it, and I stayed with it.
Yeah.
He said, you know, I knew the weather was going to warm up. I knew those fish was going to be coming. And,
they came to him.
Hats off to Randy. He stuck with it, and they did. They came to him, you know. So.
And he basically, on the final day, he just caught little smaller fish than what he'd been catching.
Still finished third. I mean,
and still got third. So again, job well done.
16 pounds in a single tournament. There's nothing to hang your head up. But Steve, this is the week. This is the big one we've been talking about since last July. The Brandon Belt tournament is this week. Sam Rayburn team tournament, the largest team tournament in the United States. First place is $100,000.
There'll be people from all over the country here.
I have been looking forward to this tournament for a long time, but I will be the first one to admit I'm not as excited about it.
You have fun with that.
Thursday morning, 39, 40 degrees, what I'm seeing right now, and 100% chance of rain, 15-mile-an-hour winds.
The best advice I can give you, Kevin, dress right. That's all I can tell you.
I'm dressing right. I'm making Cooper. We're taking Justin Cooper's boat. I might clean out a rod box, Steve. I'm not going to lie.
Might want to get down in there, brother. It's going to be a little cool. But also, we've got Tater Reynolds. Tater Reynolds, him and George Jean Jr. won a tournament with over 28 pounds this past week.
Right at 29. So 28.9.
Yeah. Some studs came in with them. And two great guys right there. I know George Jean, of course, I know you know George, but great angler. George does really well this time of year, especially on Toledo Bend. He's one of the guys, he backs his boat in the water in February. You better look out because he's one of the guys to beat. But they did a great job this weekend. We got Tater on in the second half of the program.
And Steve, we've got two big tournaments coming up at Toledo Bend. I know we've been talking about Brandon Belt this weekend on Sam Rayburn. The BFL is this weekend on Toledo Bend out of San Miguel. Then next weekend, Bass Champs coming to Toledo Bend. So we know everybody's wanting to start hearing a little bit about Toledo Bend. So not a better way than talk about a 29-pound stringer that just got caught.
Hey, you can't beat that. And we'll also we got a special announcement coming up for all you crappie guys. Yeah, we know we're about bass fishing on this program, but we're going to talk a little bit about you crappie guys today. There's a big event coming up on Red River. Stay tuned for that. We'll make sure we let you know what that is.
And one more thing, Steve, before we jump into our break here, our commercial break. I want to thoughts and prayers go out to Very close family of mine, the Tony family from Anacoca, Louisiana. Mr. Jack Tony passed away yesterday. It is my uncle's dad, Cole Moore, who we had on a few weeks ago. Yeah. It is his granddad. I'm very close with the family. Thoughts and prayers go out to them in this horrible, horrible time. Mr. Jack was a fisherman, was around when Toledo Bend was started. Right. And I talked to George Jean yesterday, and we were talking about Mr. Jack and how George's daddy, George Jean Sr., and Mr. Jack kind of was, one of the ones that first started Fish Toledo Bend. So, again, thoughts and prayers go out to the Tony family and this week as they go through this tough time.
And Kevin, you said something there that it resonated with me. When you get a chance, you young guys, talk to those older guys that have seen it from the beginning. You will learn so much from those guys about the history of Toledo Bend or any of our bodies of water. If you got a grandpa that's been fishing in this region, talk to them about what it was like, back when they first got into bass fishing. You'll be amazed at the stories you'll hear. And people like that, don't take them for granted. They've got knowledge and experience that you just can't put a price on. So make sure you talk to those people. I think it's very important. Okay, so we're going to take our first break. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning us in. We'll be right back with more. We'll be back hopefully with Michael Neal when we return with more Tackle Talk Live.
Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in your hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your healthcare needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6, just south of Toledo Town, or you can call 318-508-5323. For all your boating needs, check out Shreveport's newest marine dealer, The Boat Shop. Raymond Kidd and his great staff will take care of all your engine repair needs or anything else that needs fixing. A certified Yamaha Mercury dealer, they carry two of the best fishing boats on the market from Sea Arc and Camus. The Boat Shop is never short on trade-ins as they're always willing and able to make you the best deal possible. Looking for great boat accessories? They're a full support garment and Minn Kota dealer. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used boat, or maybe you just need to service the boat you have, let the Boat Shop fix you up. To learn more, call 318-402-0399 or go to ShreveportBoatShop.com. The next time you're on I-49 just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana, stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors. A store within a store, Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's four-way. Whether you need gas, food, or drinks, they have it. While you're there, check out Cypress Knee Outdoors and pick up whatever hunting or fishing tackle you need. Top name brands like Strike King, Santones, Pro, or the #1 soft plastics made, V&M. On the hunting side, they carry guns from Mossberg, Winchester, and Remington. Plus, they've got a great supply of ammunition. Let John Abram and his staff show you everything Cypress Knee has to offer. Located just 1 mile east of 127 on I-49 or call 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
You're watching Tackle Talk Live. Thank you for tuning in. Again, we're going to recognize some sponsors real quick. Toledo Health, The Boat Shop, Raymond Kidd and the gang up there at The Boat Shop. If you got any service work needs to be done, any repairs, now, hey, right now, get it up there. Raymond Kidd will take care of you. 3J's 4-Way, home of Cypress Knee Outdoors. John Abraham and the gang out there has got everything, especially a full line of V&M product. Anything you need to catch bass, crappie, whatever, white perch, crappie, they're all the same. One and the same, different name, don't take no different baits though. Same baits will catch you everything that you need right there at Cypress Knee Outdoors. And while you're there, got an awesome deli. Get some fried chicken, get you a burger. You'll thoroughly enjoy it. So, all right, Kevin, on the phone, we got the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Probably the hottest angler on the planet right now.
Definitely in America right now is Michael Neal. And Michael actually said he's on the road coming out of Brooklyn, Texas, over at Sam Rayburn, headed north to closer to our region, Kevin, up here, headed
to Monroe. Bass Pro Tours practice starts this week. Michael, appreciate you coming on with us, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on. It's a great week and looking forward to hopefully another great year.
Absolutely. You're off to a heck of a start. That's for sure.
Is that direct deposit you have set up or what?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard road to follow after last year and starting this way. So just, momentum's a big deal. And I think more so in fishing than any other thing that we do. And when you're making the right decisions, you're making the right decisions. And when you're not, you're not. So I just got to ride this train while it's rolling the right direction.
Right. Real quick, Michael, while I'm thinking about it, I just want to compliment you on your store right there at Chickamauga. I was there last spring. Great place. You got a great location there, great store. Your crew does a great job there, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm very fortunate to have a good staff to take care of everything while I'm on the road so much.
Michael, jumping straight into Sam Rayburn, last week's tournament. Y'all had a lot of different things thrown at y'all with the weather. Before we get into the tournament, let's kind of talk practice. So you guys on the pro circuit now, you only have 2 days of practice, and that is not a whole lot of time when you're talking about a body of water like Sam Rayburn. So let's kind of talk to your practice, kind of take us through how you went about practice and what you decided to look for.
Yeah, I knew going into it that there wasn't a lot of grass, and I kind of wrote that off. I figured that was going to be the areas of the lake, your beach and Five Fingers and places like that have been historically good with grass. I figured those were going to be the most heavily populated with boats, and I wanted to stay away from that.
Yeah.
I was going to kind of use that as a backup plan. If I had to go do something during the tournament, I knew I could go in there and fish grass and, maybe hopefully pluck a couple out of there. But I started out looking deep, and I never really done that kind of offshore fishing pre-spawn. Everything I do back home is always post-spawn when you're graphing, looking for them, and I'd always heard about all the drains. And the second day of practice, I started looking more heavily at the drains and started seeing some fish out, 18 to 25 feet deep in them, and decided that was going to be my game plan going forward.
Now, you said the fish was 18, 25 foot deep. Michael, how deep of water was you in?
That's how deep they were. They were, most of them were just 2 to 4 feet off the bottom.
Gotcha.
Some of them were on the bottom if there was a piece of brush or an old washed-in piece of timber or whatever like that. Some of those were on the bottom, but things definitely started changing as the tournament went along.
Now, Michael, we kind of skimmed over it, but I kind of want to back up here a little bit. The 2-day practice deal, a fan of that? Not happy with that? That's something that's new for you guys.
I'm a fan of it. Bass Pro Tour, that's what we've always had, a day and till 3 o'clock on the second day. So I was comfortable with it going forward, and I think I like it more because I find myself more and more every year fishing new water or new techniques or new patterns, whatever, as the tournament progresses.
Yeah.
Places that I didn't even practice.
Fishing the moment. Fishing the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think as long as you get a good game plan and you can do that in 2 days, then you kind of got to expand during the tournament.
Okay.
Michael, overall, day one was probably the best weights overall. I forget what place you were setting in day one, but you had 1807. What place was you in? I'm trying to look here. Day one. Fifth place, yes.
Yeah.
Fifth place after day one with 1807. Day two, you guys had could not go out, canceled because of wind. It was absolutely getting it. Probably a very, very good decision. So day one and day two, and so the third day, which ended up being day two, you have 1502. Did that kind of go as planned those 2 days as you kind of thought and practiced the drains and kind of finding them on the live scope?
No, I really didn't think that I was going to catch that much weight. The first day, I was looking I thought 12 pounds, I'd be doing pretty good. Catch 12 pounds 2 days in a row, get a check, and get out of here. Rayburn's always been kind of hard for me. Last year was the only check I didn't get the whole season, and then I was there in the FLW Tour back 14 and had a middle of the pack finish. But I was really fortunate to get a 7-pound bite and a 5-pound bite that first day. And that was 2/3 of my weight with 2 fish. So the other ones were just average of 2 pounds. And I started noticing that day in the afternoon that the fish seemed that they had left the centers of the drains and started going up more on the sides, up a little bit shallower. And then, of course, day two was canceled. And then the day three, that's when I started out deep again, and I didn't get a limit till 2 o'clock. And I stuck with it way too long looking back at it. But in the last 2 hours of the day, I picked up a jerkbait and started going up on the sides of the drains and in the backs of them where they started flattening out. And I had 3 good bites and culled 3 fish out, came in with 15 pounds and took over the lead.
Now, the big fish you caught, the 8 plus.
No, that's day 3.
Yeah, day 3. But my question is on that, was that a fish that you spotted that fish with the live sonar?
Yeah, there was a group of them. That was a particular place where they were set up in the back of the drain. And I'd already caught a couple, lost. My first bite I had that morning was probably around 6 pounds. It come up and jumped off, which gave me confidence just to stick with the jerkbait all day and abandon the deeper pattern. And but I caught that fish. There was, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them chasing my jerkbait at one time, and that was luckily the one that got it.
So on day 1, you said you had 18 pounds. You had a 7 and a 5. Michael, was those? You hadn't come on to the jerkbait deal yet. You said they were still out deeper. Are you catching those on a drop shot?
Yeah, I was. So the first day it was really calm and slick.
Yeah.
In practice, I caught a couple over the top of some brush piles and things on a jerkbait. One of them was a 3-pounder. The others were just, solid keeper fish. But yeah, it was a drop shot. I caught all 5 of them. I weighed the first day we're on it.
Talk about your setup on your drop shot. I saw some different guys doing some totally opposite things. A couple of guys had 7-pound test on. Another guy had 10 to 12-pound test on. How was your drop shot rig set up?
All my spinning rods, I run 10-pound braid on. And then I vary from the leader. I like a long rod when I'm fishing out there offshore, just to maintain better hook sets and better control. So I use a 7'6" Denali covert, and I was using 10-pound leader as well, 10-pound Sunline Sniper. And I felt like the watercolor was not clear enough to where you'd have to go super light.
Right.
But with that 10-pound braid, you can't go super heavy either. If I was going to go up past 10, I have to go up on my braid size. So that's just what I stick with. So
the big day 3, Michael, championship day, weight 0, so everybody's at 0. So you're going to have a good bag to win this. Even though you were leading the event going into championship day, all weights are 0, nothing mattered. Yeah. You start the day out, and you said day 2 you found them sides of the drains and the back of the drains, started catching them on the jerkbait. Day 3 to start the day off, catching 8-pounder. When I say start the day off, a couple hours into the day, catching 8-pounder. And as you done allude to Steve's question, there were several of them there. Are you in these drains? Are you trolling around looking for them? Are you the Garmin Live Scope or Lowrance Active Target?
This was an active target.
Okay, so the active target. So are you just casting? Or are you on your? I know it's on live. You're just on your trolling mode. Are you just looking for them?
Yeah, I mean, I caught, if I saw a piece of brush or fish was when I would make my cast. And if I didn't see anything, I'd keep my trolling motor on 6 to 8, depending on the wind, but I'm not just trolling in a straight line. I'm holding it down, but I'm constantly panning left, up the break a little bit, and I'm panning to the right, down the break just a little bit, and over the center of the drain to see if there's one suspended. So I'm constantly moving forward, but I'm kind of counteracting it with a little bit of left and a little bit of right. So I've not got that straightforward, fast speed moving.
Mm-hmm. So, Michael, I mean, I'm not saying you wouldn't have won it, but obviously the live sonar, the forward-facing sonar really was a huge player for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's I think I would have still caught some fish, but I would not. I don't think I could have won. No, all of them I weighed. The 15, 13 of them I saw eat my bait.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow. So, the big Brandon Belt tournament coming up this weekend at Rayburn. Any advice you want to give those guys to possibly pull in there and catch a winning stringer?
I mean, I would say focus on the drains. I mean, that seemed to be where the big fish were hanging out. And things changed as the day went on. And I'm sure right now it's warm, but I know there's another cold front coming in. I don't know how much it'll hurt them, but yeah. I'm sure there's more and more starting to pull up a little bit every day. So, because that's how it was in the tournament, and I'm sure they're going to continue. But I mean, just look for. I was targeting from 6 to typically 12 or 14 feet at the deepest. Was where all my bigger fish were located, and I was on mostly main lake stuff. I mean, mid lake from like beach up to the canyons is where I stayed. and just looking for any kind of piece of cover or anything different on that drain.
Michael, what kind of jerkbait was you throwing?
I threw 3 different ones. Like I said, I had some that I caught up in like 5 feet, so I threw a shallower diving one there on 14-pound line, and I threw a Spromic stick, and then I had another one that I weighted down to actually get down to some top of some deeper brush piles out there in like 14.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, Michael, man, we appreciate you, dude, man. Congratulations. Again, awesome finish. You're starting to make a habit of this, dude. And it's a good feeling to have. And, of course, as you well know, momentum is a huge thing in the sport of bass fishing. You got to feel pretty good coming up in our neck of the woods here in Northeast Louisiana with Caney Lake, Darbone. I mean, you got to feel pretty good.
It's going to be a little different going to Darbone, though, for you. It's good. You
compared to Rayburn.
Go from Rayburn to Cypress trees. But, Michael, thanks for coming on, man. Congrats, and good luck this week up in Monroe.
Thank you. Appreciate having me on.
All right, Michael Neal, MLF Pro. Michael Neal, appreciate Michael coming on, gave some great advice there, Kevin, for all you guys headed over there to Rayburn this week. And again, there's one thing he was trying to factor in. The weather's going to change. There's another front coming, and temperatures are back in the 20s at night. So, those fish like Randy DeSpino caught, those fish probably going to get pushed back out, Kev.
Right. No, I think you're right. I mean, it's going to be hard to figure out because it's warm. It's been warm, Steve, these last 2 days.
Yeah, even at night.
Thursday is not. It's going to be warm Wednesday night. Thursday morning, start the tournament. It's going to be warm, but it's going to get colder as the day goes on. So I don't think Thursday will be affected.
It probably won't.
Friday,
Saturday
will be a completely different lake.
Yes.
Because they're saying up to possibly an inch of rain on Thursday.
Going to muddy up some creeks.
Friday will be a completely different lake. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think Thursday, there's going to be a big bag caught Thursday.
I would agree.
Unless the rain just gets torrential, which possibly it is, if the rain breaks a little bit, I think there could be some really big bags weighed in on Thursday. Friday and Saturday is going to be interesting to see what happens. But
you can't win it on Thursday, but you could darn sure lose it if you don't get off to a good start.
Sure lose it. Yes,
you could be way in the hole if you're not careful. So, all right, well, that's going to wrap up our first segment here. We're going to take another quick break, and when we return, Tater Reynolds will be our second guest on today, talking about his big win at Toledo Bend and the big stringer they has. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for the finest custom-built rods ever made? Then look no further than Pride Rods. Fishing rods built to last and made in Montgomery, Texas. Constructed by Mr. Billy Kistler with the finest Gary Loomis North Fork composite blanks available. They offer a complete line of both spinning and casting rods for both fresh and salt water. Pride Rods do more than pass the eye test. They excel in performance as well. Ask your local tackle dealer if they carry Pride Rods and pick one up and try it for yourself. You'll see why so many anglers are using Pride Rods. To learn more, go to priderods.com or call 832-418-6040. The next time you're headed for Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn, stop by Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle. They have an awesome supply of everything you'll need to catch the big ones. Whether your trip calls for bass fishing, white perch tackle, catfish bait, or the ultimate fighting shiners, Keith's Tackle has you covered. Keith and former Elite Series pro Ben Matsubu also have the latest information on what, how, and where you need to be fishing on Sam Rayburn or the Bend. So for all your tackle needs, check out Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located just off Highway 21 on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, or call 409-625-0181. The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency that has been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guy for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. Located at 805 Southeast Stalling Suite 3, Nacogdoches, Texas, or call 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Ranger Diver Pro Staffer Steve Graff, along with V&M General Manager Kevin Jean, and you're welcome to the second segment here on Tackle Talk Live. This segment is presented by Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, and Lone Star Bass Trail. Kevin, you got any updates on Lone Star?
Lone Star Bass Trail had their open series this week. I got the results right here, and it was on Sunday? Yes, it was on Sunday. Sunday was tough. Bluebird Skies.
Yeah.
First place was John and Burdette. Last name John and Burdette. Fifth, 5 fish for $13.97. Clint Wade and Stacy Wade had second place 5 fish, $11.69.
We know them.
I do know them. Third place Newcomer and Alexandra had the third place check was 10.73. So Lone Star Bass Trail Open Tournament. This is going to be their Open Series. Had a good turnout. Had a really good turnout for their first Open Series tournament. So make sure to like and follow their Facebook page, Lone Star Bass Trail, for more updates and more tournaments coming up. Guys, they got lots of different types of tournaments. They do the Ironman. They do the MLF style tournaments.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow their Facebook page for more updates to come.
On the phone with us, Tackle Talk Hotline, we've got Tater Reynolds, and Tater was part of the winning team of George Jean Jr. and himself. And Tater, y'all $28.95 for a good win on Toledo Bend. Tell us about your day, and did you do a lot of practice for this event?
Yes, sir. I've been on Toledo a pretty good bit. I went the week of the tournament. I think I was on the water 4 days. Besides the tournament day, and I done good every day. I think the smallest bag I had was 18 pounds, and I had a 21-pound bag and another two 24-pound bags, plus the right at 29 pounds the day of the tournament. So I've been doing well on Toledo.
Yeah.
So Tater, and I've been following you social media wise. You've been catching these fish for a while. Are they starting to move? Are the fish kind of staged up where they've been for the last month?
They're starting to move a little bit. I mean, they're still holding to the shad hard, but I think the shad is starting to go up the creeks now, and then they're right behind.
Right.
Now, the one question, Tater, a lot of guys are listening for, have you found any grass anywhere?
I have not.
Not that we would want the location. We just want to know, have you found anywhere? So
I haven't found the past couple of years. I've been seeing a little bit come back in February and March, up shallow.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen none this year, and then in the past years when the grass did come back, as soon as we get some warmer weather, it would die off.
Yeah.
All right, Tater, so let's jump into how you're catching these fish. Now, look, there's some big tournaments finally coming up on Toledo Bend. I know you got the BFL this weekend, which I know you're fishing. You got the BFL next weekend. So anything you don't want to give out, feel free to say, hey, look, I don't want to give that up right now. So everybody will completely understand, but kind of jump into how you're catching your fish. I know personally you love to throw that Arig this time of year.
Oh, yes, sir, no doubt. And that's been playing a big factor here recently, and then it played a factor the day of the tournament too. But yeah, I've been catching them on the Arig crankbait, and then I had my dad with me, and he loves to throw a football jig, and that's what he caught almost all his fish that day.
So y'all weighed in 2 on a football jig?
We weighed in 2 on a football jig. Yes, sir.
What was the other 3 caught on? If you don't mind saying.
Two was on A-rig and 1 was on a spoon.
Okay.
Now, Ted, on your A-rig, on your A-rig, are you a guy that likes to take one of those and make it a different color shad than the rest of them?
Yes, sir. Generally, I do. I usually change the middle one too.
Yeah. Do you find you get more strikes on that particular bait?
Maybe not more, but it seems like every big one that I catch, generally that'll be the one he bites.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good information.
How deep a water we fishing, Tater?
Shallowest we probably fished was probably 23, 24, and then deepest we fished probably 35.
Now are the fish? The fish are just. I mean, I know you're live scoping. You're a live scope guru.
Yeah.
I know you're live scoping. Is the fish on bottom, or are they just off bottom?
It seems like earlier in the day, the fish was on bottom, or maybe no more than 2 foot off bottom.
Right.
And as the sun got high and later in the day, the fish pulled closer to the surface.
Okay.
Tater, with the BFL coming up over this weekend, we got another cold front coming in, I think Thursday. What's that going to do to the fish? Is it going to push them back out? What's they going to settle back in the drains? What's your prediction on it?
I think they're gonna stay right where they was this past weekend and maybe this week. I've these past 2 days, it's been warm and it's kind of worried me, because I don't want them to go further in. I'd like them to stay just where they're at.
Yeah, absolutely. You caught 29 pounds.
Yeah, he don't want them to move. I don't blame you.
So let's talk about Saturday. 29 pounds. I mean, did this take all day to catch, or did it happen first thing that morning?
We had, I think if I remember correctly, we had like somewhere around 26 pounds, about 9:30. And that's when we left and went to another spot that I've been catching them, and I pulled up there and I think I caught another 6, and that gave us, called out a 3.5 pounder, and that gave us what we had. So I'm gonna say probably no later than 10:30 we had what we had.
Yeah, yeah.
In an area or a spot, or just running kind of like, I mean, you said you had the 26 by 9 o'clock or whatever. So is that an area? Is that a spot or?
Yeah.
It's more or less probably just an area.
Gotcha.
No bigger than a 100-yard stretch or so.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, that's typical, I would think, this time of year. That's where those big fish, they hang together. And when you do find one, usually more there with them.
Right.
Good deal. Tater, you fishing BFL this weekend, right? Or are you fishing Brandon
Yes,
Belt?
sir. No, I'm fishing the BFL.
Okay. I don't blame you there. If I was catching 29 pounds on Toledo, I think I'd fish everything that was coming up for sure.
Sound like you got something good going there. So, and well, Tater, man, congratulations. Good luck to you this weekend. Who knows? We might have you on next week. And if you catch them again. Now, next week, you got to give up GPS coordinates.
I don't know about that.
Thanks for coming on, Tater, man. We appreciate it.
Tell George I said hello.
I will. Appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Tater Reynolds, part of the team of him and George Jean Jr. And so that's a pretty good little team there, Kev. They're pretty stout.
And Steve, they do this every year. Pre-spawn,
yep,
they always catch them.
George is notorious.
George has been
for
doing this time of year for 20 years now, and Tater has came on the last 3 or 4 years with him and caught him really well. I think they won a Bass Champs year before last.
Yeah.
And they won like a Texas Team Show and Bass Champs like back to back. It was So there's no doubt they know that. But Steve, this goes back to the quality is there on Toledo Bend.
Oh yeah.
Now
if you find them, they're there.
This was a small tournament. I think he had like 10 boats in it. And or just a little more, but 29 pounds. Second place was 20.
Yeah.
And then it fell off 13, 10, so on and so forth. But you had a 28 and a 20-pound bag, weighed in.
Now the one question we didn't ask. Well, what were you, north or south of the bridge?
Oh, he's south of the bridge.
He's always south.
Yeah, George is south of the bridge. If
now,
if George goes north of the bridge, his boat shuts down. I think him and Harold Allen have an agreement. George is not allowed to go above the bridge, and Harold's not allowed to come south.
Yeah, that's probably true. So your predictions? It's going out of San Miguel, the BFL out of San Miguel. A lot of, last year up north is where everything was won. Yeah. I mean, are we talking guys running past Circle Drive into the refuge up there?
No, not yet.
It's too early?
I don't think yet, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Matt Loescher and Harold Allen last year caught a really good bag up there somewhere. I think they won Bass Champs last year up there. Had a really good bag.
Is the Bushes.
Bushes not going to play.
Bushes not going to play.
Bushes not going to play. But they're... I know Harold catches them, Harold Allen, Glenn Freeman, and those guys. They catch them around the stumps, moving into the creeks up north, pitching Texas rig and pitching some jigs around stumps as those fish are moving into those pockets that warm up the fastest up north. That could definitely be a player.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about down south. You can catch a 29-pound bag or you can catch an 8-pound bag.
Yeah.
You're down south. You might not catch as many, but that is where the quality is at. Yeah. That's where the big ones live.
Are brush tops as prevalent on Toledo as they are on Rayburn?
No, it's not as big. It's not one of those things like on Rayburn. When it's happening, you better be doing it or you're not fishing to win.
That's exactly
Toledo Bend, it is not necessarily that way. They will get in them and right now, and you can catch them in them. You catch them and you win out of them, but it's not like you have to be brush pile fishing like on Sam Rayburn.
Right.
So, it's going to be interesting this coming weekend BFL. I think you're going to have some really good bags. Tater obviously is on them. I think there'll be a couple really good bags come from up north. Steve, I'm going to predict in the BFL there's going to be 3, maybe 4 bags over 20 pounds.
I'm thinking 23 to 24 to win.
Here's the part. What's it going to take to get a check?
BFL, they play what, 40?
Oh Lord, they might pay 70 depending on how
that's
many
right.
they
Rayburn,
have.
they played 70.
Yeah, depending on how, they're not going to have as many because the belt tournament's going to hurt them. Belt tournament's going to hurt them.
12 pounds might get you a check.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have several really big bags, and I think you're going to have a drop off.
Right, and you're going to have a bunch of that
drop.
14 to 17 group.
I don't know, Steve. I don't know if
You think
those
it's gonna be
bags are
tough?
there. I think
And that's a 1-day deal. Yeah.
the quality's there. I mean, the quality of fish is there. The quantity is not as the quantity is. I don't know if it's there for those 13 to 17 pound bags to have a whole bunch of them like on Rayburn. There's just
If it was warmer,
oh well, that's a different
might
story.
be.
Yeah,
But you're right. With the front coming in, it could really.
there's
it
going
could-
to
it could
be
knock 'em in the
several
dirt.
big bags, and then there's I'm gonna say 12 pounds gets you a check.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think
So-
12 gets you a check. All right. Also coming up, real quick, coming up, of course, Brandon Belt, Kevin will be over there with Justin Cooper. They're fishing together. And looking forward to getting their report next week, how all that went. Hopefully, they'll be the winners. ABA Open Series, East Texas Division, Lake of the Pines this weekend. All you ABA guys in East Texas, get signed up. It starts this weekend. If you want to come to Red River next year for the Ray Scott National Championship, you better make sure you're in this first one. February 12th, Bass Champs, Toledo Bend. Cypress Bend Park, right? For Bass Champs.
Bass Champ Cypress Bend, yes.
Yeah, Cypress Bend Park. February 10th through the 12th, Toyota Series. So where are they going?
Toledo Caesar, Sam Rayburn,
Sam Rayburn.
10th through the 12th.
10th through the 12th.
So you got Brandon Belt this week, and then you got Toyota Series next week.
Yeah. So a lot of some of those guys may be fishing Brandon Belt, huh? Can they?
Oh yeah, no, they can't.
They can fish that.
Oh yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's
dead
open.
water
No,
after Sunday for
Toyota
them?
Series does not have dead water.
No dead water. Also, February 19th, ABA Open Series, again, East Texas Division. They'll have 2 in the books before we ever start. South Texas, Lake Palestine over around Tyler, February the 19th. And then February 25th and 26th, the Bass Federation on Red River out of Shreveport. I think you have to already be signed up for that. But you got to have a co-angler when you sign up. But that's February 25th and 26th out of Red River Marina on Red River. So, looking forward to that, seeing how those guys do on Red River. I'm anxious to see the weights. Of course, you hope the weather's good.
Yeah,
That'll help
that's
the
going to
river.
be the big player. I'm glad it's the end of February.
Yeah.
Glad it's the end of February. Get registered, Bass Cash Bash, guys. We talk about this every week at the
Yes.
end of the show. It's especially you guys that are fishing Brandon Belt this weekend on Sam Rayburn. It is live on Sam Rayburn. That reminds me, I have to register.
Yeah.
So
There you
anyway,
go.
if you are not registered yet, make sure to get registered before you fish the tournament this weekend. Any tag fish out there is $1,000. If you catch an old tag, there's coolers and other prizes to be won. Win a boat, win a truck, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
get registered, basscashbash.com.
Yep. And again, I am registered. I'm good to go. So I'm looking forward to hopefully maybe catching one of those tag fish. Also coming up, make sure you register. ABA Open Series again for the East Texas, South Texas guys. You got a little time left. You got another month, I think. But the solo tour kicks off. The solo 150 kicks off mid-March on Texoma. If you haven't signed up for that, make sure you get signed up. And also the big announcement for you crappie guys coming up, April 22nd and 23rd, locks 3 and 4 on Red River. The Mr. Crappie Invitational Qualifier will take place on Red River. It's for the $300,000 championship to be held on Table Rock Lake in October of this year, 20th and 22nd in Branson, Missouri. Entry fee is $750. Payout be determined by the total number of teams. 100 teams is considered a full field. Probably won't have no problem with that.
No.
Payout will be $75,000 for the top 20 teams in each event. How to qualify, again, for Mr. Crappie $300,000 invitational, you have to be in the top 25 and the top 30 in each of the 2022 Mr. Crappie Invitational qualifiers, or you can get a sponsor exemption teams from platinum sponsors and gold sponsors. But once you enter the Mr. Crappie event, the invitational, you cannot request a refund. So your entry fee, again, $750, must be paid and postmarked by April 1st of 2022. And I have heard that already this event has been considered dead water already. It's already off limits. So if you're looking to fish Red River in this event, from what I've gathered, we'll double check that and make sure, but we're hearing it's already dead water for this event. That's why we're announcing it now and let you know if you're going to fish this, you can't be on Red River. So, but anyway, Kevin?
I think that does us for today. Make sure to get Bash Cash Bash registered for the Brandon Belt this weekend. Good luck to everybody fishing it. Be safe out there on the water. Going to have some crazy weather this week. Going to be cold. Going to be cold for the BFL and Toledo Bend. So I'm ready for some warm weather, Steve.
Yeah, me and you both. And again, thank you for tuning us in. Hey, again, if you want to check us out on YouTube, our YouTube channel is just really doing really well. Make sure you click subscribe so you'll get any notifications of upcoming shows that we're doing. And so also check us out on Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, podcast. If you would like to become a member of our sponsorship team, make sure you message us on Facebook, and Kevin will make sure he gets a packet out to you. We'll return the call. We'll get back with you ASAP and make sure that you have everything you need to be a part of this program. For Kevin Jean, Steve Graff, and James Stanfield, our producer, we thank you for tuning us in. You've been watching Tackle Talk Live. Have a great week, everybody.